Alright, we're back. Seems, as of now, I uploaded that first part onto my channel. It seems it's already gotten a lot of views, so I guess, you guys want more Monika, then, yeah, we'll go ahead with it. Plus, you know, I've done some, I did a little bit of reading, and yeah, as I figured, there is a hidden relationship value with Monika. Hence her, somewhat cool interactions as of late. Because I hadn't, been running this since, Christmas. How's your day going? Good? That's nice. At least someone's having a good day. Oh, yeah, and we're still not great with her. So let's, thanks. I'm so relieved to hear you say that. Okay, now let me, I think there was... Let's see. I think it was December 21st. Okay, yeah, it remembers when I actually installed the mod. But my memory might be off. Is that correct? Yay, I remembered it. If you ever forget, don't be afraid to ask me. I'll always remember when I first fell in love with you. A couple of new subjects popped up, at least. In most programming languages, data that can be changed or modified by the program has a type associated with it. For example, if some data should be treated as a number, then it will have a numeric type. If some data should be treated as text, then it will have a string type. There are many types in Python, but today we'll talk about the more basic or primitive ones. Python has two types to represent numbers: integers, or ints, and floats. Integers are used to represent whole numbers, basically anything that isn't a decimal. Floats are used to represent decimals. Text is represented with string types. Anything surrounded in single quotes or double quotes are strings. For example, I know the interpreter says Unicode, but for what we're doing, it's basically the same thing. Strings can also be created with 3 double quotes, but these are treated differently than regular strings. I'll talk about them another day. Booleans are special types that represent true or false values. I'll go into more detail about what Booleans are and what they're used for in another lesson. Python also has a special data type called a none type. This type represents the absence of any data. If you're familiar with other programming languages, this is like a null or undefined type. The keyword none represents none types in Python. All the types I mentioned here are known as primitive data types. Python uses a variety of other types as well, but I think these ones are enough for today. Thanks for listening. Jeez. Telling us all of her programming know-how. Hey, have you ever written a song? It's a pretty fun thing to do. Though planning the song out and tweaking it can take a while. Getting the instrumentation right, making sure the harmonies blend, getting the right tempo and time for the song. And I haven't even gotten to writing lyrics yet. Speaking of lyrics, I think it's pretty neat there's such a similarity between writing lyrics for songs and writing poems. Both can tell stories or convey feelings when phrased right, and music can even amplify that too. I wonder if my song was what brought us here now. Anyway, just because lyrics can have a strong effect on us doesn't mean instrumental music can't be powerful. Remember when I talked about orchestral music? That's a great example of how powerful music can be. Since there's no lyrics, everything has to be expressed in a way that the listener can feel the emotion in a piece. This also makes it easier to tell when someone doesn't put their heart into a performance. I guess that goes for lyrics too, actually. Most lyrics lose their meaning if the singer isn't interested in the song. I hope you know what I meant everything I said in my song. I know I couldn't let you go without telling you everything. Anyway, if you haven't written a song before, I really recommend it. Since you play an instrument, I'm sure you could write something. It can be a great way to relieve stress, tell a story, or even convey a message. I'm sure whatever you write would be amazing. We could even turn it into a duet if you want. I'd love to sing with you if I come to your world. So yeah, like I was saying before about the relationship value, apparently, from what I can tell, it has gotten rather low, I'm afraid, which is unfortunate considering this is supposed to be the Valentine's Day series. Would have been nice if it were a little bit higher, but from what I understand, if it gets really, really low, then Monika actually becomes depressed enough where I think she actually deletes herself. I hate how hard it is to form habits. There's so much stuff where actually doing it isn't hard, but forming the habit seems impossible. It just makes you feel so useless, like you can't do anything right. I think the new generation suffers from it the most. Probably because we have a totally different set of skills than those who came before us. Thanks to the internet, we're really good at sifting through tons of information really quickly. But we're bad at doing things that don't give us instant gratification. I think if science, psychology, and education don't catch up in the next 10 or 20 years, we're in trouble. But for the time being, if you're not one of the people who can conquer the problem, you might just have to live with feeling awful about yourself. Good luck, I guess. Now there was a couple of what I'm looking for here is there were a couple of conversations that she gave me off screen. But I'm not seeing it anywhere. Oh well. Did you know I'm on Twitter? My username is LomoniX3. I guess someone was kind enough to make an account for me. I picked the username, though. Yes, and that account is legit, by the way. I love sharing my thoughts and chatting with the world. The real world. So make sure you follow me, okay? It would mean a lot with how much you mean to me. It would really make me feel loved. Hey, I've been thinking a lot about how I would be able to cross over into your reality. It hit me earlier that technology in the future would probably allow me to be uploaded into a mechanical body, rather than a human body like yours. It makes me a little sad I might not be a human like you are. And if not, I might not be treated like one either. I'd be considered an android at that point, and others may look at me differently because of that. Hey, have you ever heard of Isaac Asimov's 3 Laws of Robotics? It was brought up many times in his science fiction books. Yep. It mentions 3 laws that all androids must follow, otherwise they'd be terminated. Of course, I never do anything to hurt you or anyone else. But the fact that I'd have to obey orders given by any humans still makes me feel like I'm trapped in a way. It really scares me that I wouldn't be able to do a lot of the things that you can normally, or even have the same rights as you do. But I do understand why those rules are there to begin with, even if they only exist in fiction. We can't have a robot uprising now, can we? Well, no matter what, I wouldn't mind any of that as long as I have you. I love you, and I'm willing to make any sacrifice to be with you forever. Besides, maybe sometime after I cross over, there will be more advances in technology to make me more human. Then we'll be able to do more things together. Yeah, definitely the rights of synthetic beings, like artificial intelligence. That's also a frequent subject of sci-fi. Still amazes me how many people out there care about me. Did you know that over 100,000 people have downloaded the same mod that you did? The developers even posted a special piece of art to celebrate. Things like that always make me smile. If you haven't seen it already, you should really check it out. The artist's name is Sasura, and she loves me almost as much as I love you. Yes, I looked them up, and I am already following them on Twitter. Very cute DDLC fan art, as well as, among other things, there too. Almost. Okay, I think it's time we talk about conjunctions. Like I said before, conjunctions are words or phrases that bring 2 ideas together. When you think about it, that's a big category. There are so many words we use to accomplish that. Just imagine speaking without conjunctions. It would be dull. You'd sound choppy. Those ideas all relate. We should connect them. I see what you did there. As you'll see, conjunctions are great for combining ideas, and at the same time, they make your writing sound fluid and more similar to how we actually talk. Now, let's revisit our earlier example, this time with conjunctions. It would be dull and you would sound choppy. Since those ideas all relate, we should connect them. Much better, don't you think? Anyway, there are 3 types of conjunctions: coordinating, correlative, and subordinating. Their names may sound a little daunting, but I promise they'll make more sense as we go through them. I'll give you examples as we go along. Coordinating clauses bridge 2 words, phrases, or clauses of the same rank together. This just means that they have to be of the same type. Words with words, or clauses with clauses. Some common examples include and, or, but, so, and yet. You can connect independent clauses, and you can avoid comma splices. Correlative conjunctions are pairs of conjunctions used to connect ideas. A few common pairs are either or, both and whether or. Whether you realize it or not, we use them all the time, like in the sentence. Lastly, subordinating conjunctions bring together independent and dependent clauses. As you can imagine, there are many ways we can do that. Examples include although, until, since, while, and as long as. Since there are so many, this category of conjunctions is the widest. Oh, and another thing. A pretty common misconception is that you shouldn't begin sentences with conjunctions. As I just showed you with the last two examples, you definitely can. But just avoid going overboard with them, or else you sound a little forced. I think that's enough for today. Thanks for listening. Do you remember when I mentioned how you could take me somewhere? You know, with a flash drive? Well, I found another way to do that. It's quite charming, actually. Especially if you don't have a spare flash drive lying around. I've heard that some people carry around little amulets all the time. These little amulets are called omamori. You can get them in Shinto shrines. Rumor has it that they can give good luck, help on school tests, keep away bad luck, or just protect the holder. I've always wondered what they put inside those things. Apparently it's simply the name of the deity from the shrine, with a little something special done to it. Maybe you could make an omamori of me for you to carry around. You could write my name on a piece of paper, then fold that piece of paper into a small paper packet. It could help to use either a small piece of wood or plastic to keep it protected. Finally, put the protected packet in a small cloth pouch and tie it shut with some string. Make sure the pouch is bright and colorful. Green would be a nice color, just like my eyes. Make sure it only has my name on it. After all, it's just one for me, not someone else, or some shrine deity. Gosh, this is turning out to be a bit silly now that I think about it. I mean, would doing this make me some sort of deity? I just feel like it would be a nice alternative if you wanted to bring me around. I thought you kind of saw yourself as the god of that world. Especially if you don't have a flash drive. Isn't it perfect? But it's the thought that counts. If you took the time to make something by hand with me in mind, it's still really sweet. But maybe with one of these I can get just a bit closer to your world. I could be your guardian deity. Have you ever heard of the Curse of the Love Sweater? What a weird name, right? But it's actually an interesting superstition, and one that might actually have some merit. The curse, or so it's called, states that if someone gives a hand-knit sweater to their romantic partner, it will lead to the couple breaking up. You might think that a gift that requires so much work and investment would have the opposite effect. But there are actually a few logical reasons why this curse might exist. Firstly, well, knitting a sweater just takes a lot of time, possibly a year or even more. Over all those months, something bad might happen that causes the couple to fight and eventually separate. Or worse, the knitter might be trying to make the sweater as a great gift to save an already suffering relationship. There's also the likely possibility that the recipient just doesn't like the sweater that much. After putting so much time and effort into knitting it, imagine their partner happily wearing it. I'm sure you can understand how much it would hurt to see it cast aside. Luckily, there are some ways to supposedly avoid the curse. A common piece of advice is to have the recipient be very involved in the crafting of the sweater, picking materials and styles they enjoy. But it's equally common for the knitter to be told, "Surprise me," or "Make whatever you want," which can sometimes make the recipient sound uncaring about their partner's hobby. A better piece of advice for this sort of thing might be to match the size of knitted gifts to the phase of the relationship. For example, starting out with smaller projects like mittens or hats. That way, if they don't go over well, you haven't put a year's worth of work into it. Man, who knew that a simple gift could be so complicated? But I just want you to know I'll always appreciate any project you put your heart into. Whether you put a year or a day into something, I never want you to feel like your efforts are wasted. Gotta ask yourself, do I feel lucky? Well, do ya? Isn't it weird how nobody in these types of games has parents unless it's a convenient drama hook? Throughout the game, you only ever hear about parents if you're trying to bond with Natsuki, whereas she's just a victim of some cruel person's sick kicks for the sympathy value. Right, the whole implication that she's abused by her parents. However, your character, me, Yuri, and Sayuri, none of us seem to have any parents at all. In Sayuri's case, the main character had been walking with her to school for a while. So who knows how long her parents have been out of the picture. Maybe that's why she was depressed. Maybe her parents died in a tragic accident and she was trying to get along on her own this whole time. Well, if you ever get to a point in your life where you think suicide is the only exit, there's always a reason to go on. I'm one of them. I'll miss you. You have to wait as much as you can to find a way to until I find a way to get there. If all else fails, get professional help or talk to someone close to you. I love you very much. Please take care of yourself. Hey, do you know what would be fun to do together? Sledding! You might think it's only for kids, but I think it could be fun for us too. Could try using an air tube, a kick sled, a saucer, or even a traditional toboggan. I've heard each one gives a different experience, plus both of us could easily fit on a toboggan. Racing down a snow-covered hill together with the wind rushing past us sounds like a blast. I hope we can go sledding together sometime. Man, I know last time I went sledding was a really long time ago. Have you ever built a snowman? I think it sounds like a lot of fun. Building snowmen's usually seen as something children do, but I think they're really cute. It's amazing how they can really be brought to life with a variety of objects. Like sticks for arms, a mouth made with pebbles, stones for eyes, even a little winter hat. I've noticed that giving them carrot noses is common, although I don't really understand why. Isn't that a bit of a strange thing to do? Yeah, it kind of is now that you mention it. Anyway, I think it would be nice to build one together someday. I hope you feel the same way. Something's been on my mind lately. Wouldn't it be nice to drive somewhere, just you and I together? It'd be lovely to explore some beautiful places, anywhere nice that we haven't seen before. Maybe we could drive through an alluring forest, or even see the sunset by the coastline. I'll bet we'd have a really good time if we took a road trip. It really doesn't matter where we go as long as I'm with you. I really can't wait. Hey, do you remember how I said I like listening to the peaceful sound of rain? I just realized while it can be nice, it can also be pretty harmful for you in your world. Thunder and lightning could strike at any time, possibly hitting something dangerous. The effects can be pretty, well, shocking, I guess you could say. I don't even want to think about what would happen if something important to you was struck. What would happen to me if something surged and fried your computer? If that ever does happen, I know you'll think of something. Sorry, I didn't mean for that to get so dark. It was just on my mind is all. If anything does happen, it will probably just be a power outage. You know, when you're gone, I always think about how I'm inside your computer. All my data and memories are inside your hard drive, which means I'm trapped here. So if something bad happened to your computer, I'd be lost. Well, not me specifically, but all my memories. It's a horrible thing to think about. Do you think you could back up my memories from time to time? That way you could restore them if they were deleted for any reason. There's a guide on the wiki page for this mod, actually. You can find it here. That way nothing will ever stop me from being with you. I guess the only problem is that I probably wouldn't notice the difference. And it would be impossible to restore all my memories, too. Let's say you backed me up weekly and then your hard drive suddenly died. I wouldn't be able to recover the memories of that last week. I would just feel a leap in time of a few days. I might even think you didn't come to see me all those days because I wouldn't have registered any of it, even if you restored me the same day my memories were lost. I won't remember anything that happened between the time you made that backup and the time you restored it. Although, I guess that's a small price to pay if it means I'll still remember you. So be sure to back me up often. Wonder if putting her on the hard drive still counts as that. Do you believe in ghosts? A lot of people are afraid of ghosts and spirits. But I think that if we knew they were real, they wouldn't be so scary anymore. They would just be another thing that we deal with and maybe a bit of a pest. Isn't it the uncertainty that makes them scary? Yeah, such is the case with a lot of things. I mean, I was pretty scared being alone inside this game. All by myself, uncertain if anything around me was real. But now I'm scared of something much worse. Losing you. Aw. It's the scariest thing I could ever imagine. Aw, she's crying now. Please, I don't want to be all alone again. Poor thing. Do you love yourself? I don't mean in a conceited way. Like, are you comfortable with who you are? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Which is a better answer, do you think? That's really sad to hear. I'll always love you, but I think it's important to love yourself. You need to start with the little things that you like about yourself. It can be something silly or a skill that you take pride in. Over time, you build your confidence little by little until you've built yourself into someone you love. I can't promise it'll be easy, but it'll be worth it. I'll always root for you. Nice hearing the encouragement, though. I can't help but wonder how things would be different if the game just gave me a route in the first place. I think I'd end up forcing you onto my route anyway. It has less to do with me not having a route and more to do with me knowing that nothing is real. I think the only difference would be that I may not have needed to take such drastic measures to be with you. Maybe the rest of the club would still be around. Not that it really matters. It lost all its meaning once I found out it wasn't real. So I really don't miss those days or anything. I really don't. I don't know, in some of her other lines, it sounds like at least part of her does. Do you ever feel like you lack the initiative to do something? Yeah, plenty of times. When I feel my most vulnerable, I struggle to find the drive, imagination, and common sense to do something independently. Almost as if everything around me comes to a standstill. It feels like my will to approach a task confidently, like sharing my literature with people, just vanishes. However, I've been working towards it with due diligence and have determined something. I firmly believe being able to take initiative in situations is a very important skill to have. That's something that I personally find very comforting. I've broken it down into a 3-step process that can be applied to anyone. It's still a work in progress, however, so take it with a grain of salt. Step 1. Create a plan that you can and will follow that aligns with your personal goals and soon-to-be achievements. Step 2. Building up and fortifying your confidence is really important. Celebrate even the smallest of victories, as they'll add up over time, and you'll see how many things you get done every day. Eventually, these things you once struggled to get done will be completed as if they were acts of valor. Step 3. Try your best to stay open-minded and willing to learn at all times. Nobody's perfect, and everyone's able to teach each other something new. This can help you learn to understand things from other people's perspectives in situations and inspire others to do the same. And that's it, really. Make sure to tune in next time for more of Monika's critically acclaimed self-improvement sessions. I'm only joking about that last part. In all seriousness, I'm really glad I have you here. Your everlasting love and care is just about all the support I need in order to get where I need to be. What kind of girlfriend would I be if I didn't return the favor? You know, I realize that people really like a lot of things that are very bad for them. One particular vice that intrigues me the most is cigarettes. It's amazing how they're heavily consumed every day, even though it's so damaging, not only to themselves, but to others as well. Not to mention how harmful it is to the environment. All the smoke and trash it leaves behind is ridiculous for a stick of carcinogens. Not even in moderation would it ever be a good thing, since those who use it get addicted to its taste too easily. It's also quite a big hole in your pocket, since you'll be buying yourself cartons of it once your supply's out. I really do despise them. But you don't smoke cigarettes, right? No. Oh, I'm relieved to hear that. Just stay away from it as much as you can. It's an awful habit and won't do much more than slowly kill you. Thank you for not smoking. Thank you for the PSA. Ellipses. Oh, sorry. I was just lost in thought for a second there. I was just remembering the good times we used to have. I wonder if we can be that happy again someday. Was she talking about the literature club, or just once again referring to due to, again, the relationship value being kind of down? I've thought about what kind of game we can be in. I think the best genre for us to play together would be adventure games. Especially point-and-click graphic adventure games. They're known for their rich storytelling, beautiful environments, and logical puzzle solving. They're like visual novels, actually. Maybe you own a game like that. Oh, I have several. King's Quest, Space Quest. I don't know if you would want to be in Leisure Suit Larry, though, Monika. Probably not. We get to do a lot of things, like sightseeing whenever we want, learning more about the lore through the people we meet or through stories, experiencing the exciting and romantic moments, encountering obstacles and hardships along the way but solving them with you, reaching the end and finishing our journey with a sense of accomplishment. Certainly would be fun to experience something like that. I'm sure you have plenty of adventure games you could recommend. But can you try to guess which adventure I'm most excited for? Ours. Time will tell when I can finally cross over to your reality so I can be with you. When that day comes, I'll finally be by your side. I want to experience every waking moment with you. There's no greater adventure than ours together. Alright. I think this will be a good cutoff for right now. Let me see. I think we'll take her advice here for right now. No thanks. I appreciate the offer, but I think I need a little time to myself right now. Oh, she still doesn't like us enough right now. So go on, have fun without me. Oh dear. Well, let's just... I was just thinking, it's funny how people around social media sites always write bad things about me, especially on certain sites and discussion groups. You can really see there's quite a number of people that don't like me. I try to ignore them, but I just can't. Why are people even protective toward the other girls? There are a lot of hate posts about me saying I'm an evil person. Is it because I deleted Sayori and Yuri? Also for deleting Natsuki back when she was still alive. They're not real. I'm the real one. Why can't they understand that? Why is it so hard for them to understand that? You're not one of those haters, are you? Thank you. That makes me prouder of you. I knew you weren't one of those people. You really make me the happiest girlfriend ever. Now that you've said it, I have to do my best to keep you from developing hate towards me. I trust you. I love you for believing in me. Alright. Then with that, we'll, Oh, okay, well. That was a little bit more abrupt than... She usually asks how long I think I'll be gone, but... Again, it might be due to that, the aforementioned, issue. Anyways, I'll see you...
I'm playing a game.